Well, Ranjan, with all due respect, you should know about that.
I know this area back to front, and there's a lot going on.
But right now, this seems like a cash cow.
500 grand to spend on a few huts and refurbishing a few huts. Wow.
It doesn't really float my boat in today's market.
And that's what worries me.
Property Elevator is back and we are bigger than ever. This year, we see our angels looking to invest their hard-earned cash into some of the best property deals on the market. Will our angels be keeping their lights green, or will they be turning them red? And to shake things up, I'd like to introduce you to the lender, who'll be giving their insights into how these deals could potentially be viewed from a lending perspective. Our angels are seasoned developers, mentors, and investors with a combined experience of over 100 years. They are Paul Mahoney, Ranjan Bhattacharya, John Howard, Hayley Andrews, and Nicholas Wallwork. Unlike the angels, our lender, Scott Marshall, can't shake hands on any of the deals. So, it's up to our candidates to impress one of the 5 angels for that all-important guidance and cash. So, let's meet some of the hopeful candidates pitching their deals on today's show.
Naomi, welcome to Property Elevator.
Thank you.
You're flying the flag for females in the industry today. Tell me,
Trying.
Yeah, what made you want to get into property in the first place?
I have most of my life worked for the NHS,
Okay.
and I got to a point in my career where I felt like I needed more time, financial freedom. So with my business partner, not for this particular deal, we set up a property company in 2019.
Yep.
And I've been doing property full time for the last 3 years now.
Brilliant. Well, I'm sure they're going to love you up there.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
I'm going to send you up the stairs now.
Okay.
See you when you get down.
Thanks very much. Hello, angels. My name's Naomi. I am one half of a business partnership with my colleague Jeannie, who sends her love. She's skiing at the moment, so it's just me
Very nice
presenting
too.
to you today. And we're both really grateful actually for your time and the opportunity to present to you. So we've had the offer accepted on a 5.5 acre plot of land, which is in the South Cotswolds. It's near an area called Stroud and Painswick, and that's in an area of outstanding natural beauty. It is already a campsite. It's been with the vendors in their family for a number of years. So as I said, we've had the offer accepted, and that's on a purchase price of 875,000. We estimate the cost to redevelop the existing lodges, which are very sweet, but not quite at the level we would want them to be at, and the new lodges at $500,000. Total costs of the site is 1.5 million, so that takes into account additional planning fees, professional fees, legal. So what we are looking for is a 400,000 initial investment. We would want to be in a position when we refinance and we hit the GDV we're aiming for in year 3 for that money to be returned to you. The return for that is 12% per annum in years 1 and 2, as well as a 30% ownership in the business, so that would be the profits as well. And when we repay the 400,000 in year 3, to continue a 30% ownership for 5 years. This would be the start of 1 moving to 2, 3, 4, and maybe more sites over the next few years. So a JV partner to help us move that business forward and work with us. So thank you very much for your time, and questions to you.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Let me just say where I am now. Initially, it's not something that I would normally invest in. There are other people, other angels I should say, who are a far better placed than me. So this one is not for me.
Okay, thank you for your time though.
Can I ask you about, because what I understand is you're asking for 400k investment, and then there's an ongoing stake in
Yes.
the business.
Yes.
Can you just run through the turnover and the profit that you're expecting in year 1, 2, 3, so I can get an idea of the scale
Sure.
of that business?
So 450,000.
450 total.
Yeah.
Okay.
With a net monthly profit of 7,000, which is about 80.
Annual, so it's just times 12.
Annual,
okay.
84,000
Okay.
off the top of my head.
And year 2 and all of that?
685,000 turnover with a monthly of 19, which I think is about 224,000 annual.
Okay. And the idea of paying back the investor after 2 years, that money would come from where?
So from refinancing it, so realistically we will have to trade for the 2 years to, as I understand it, with
Okay.
commercial financing.
So you'll be looking for basically 2 years trading profits in that business
Yes.
as the route to refinance?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
So you want us to tie our money up for a period of 3 years?
Realistic, I suppose,
Yeah.
yes. It would not be at the end of year 2, beginning of year 3. We would more than likely have to take it through to year 3, which therefore we'd adjust the percentage return.
That's great. So in terms of your occupancy levels, you've worked out your revenue based off 60% occupancy.
65%
65.
in the first few years, moving to 80.
Okay. Have you taken into kind of seasonal trends or?
So yes, not in the tables you've got. So behind that, when I've profiled it, it kind of comes out to around the average nightly rate of 220. So we fully expect that obviously in the cooler months it's going to be less. We would be expecting a lot more obviously in the summer months and the prime months. So it does balance out.
Yeah.
Paul? Yeah, I've got a couple of questions. Is it fair to say that with this type of business, the valuation is hugely dependent on how well the business is run?
100%, yes.
As in, the bricks and mortar valuation of this site is going to be substantially less than the business valuation overall, right?
I would say yes. It's currently had a valuation. It is on bricks and mortar at the 875 that we're offering for it. We've spoken to the agent and shared the plans. This is the agent that's selling it. Shared our plans of what we want to do. He has suggested that the GDV I've put in the figures there, which is 2.1. Is achievable. It is very finger in the air, of course, because yes, it will be, as you say, dependent on how we operate the business and those profit margins that we achieve.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think for those reasons, it's not really one for me, just because it seems this is kind of the first side of this scale you've done, and therefore the potential of us getting our money back in 2 or 3 years or 4 years, or whenever it happens, is all based upon how well this is run.
Yeah.
So that adds an extra layer of risk, in my view.
Thank you for your time.
Nicholas?
I mean, I love it. I used to own a yurt and I've got an orchard in my new property and I'm going to build my own.
What a surprise.
Glamping
What a
retreat.
surprise. What a surprise.
So although I don't live
I'll come
close,
run that.
yeah, you can come and run that for me for sure. You know, let's hope this pitch has a happy ending to it. But at the very least, what can I ask you? I mean, I've got so many questions. I'm going to get told off for going on so long. So I'm trying to pick the best 2 or 3 to ask.
Start with one, eh?
Please don't.
I'm concerned, actually. I'll start with the concerns, let's be honest. I love the model. 500 grand to spend on a few huts and refurbishing a few huts. Wow, it's far too much. I mean, these will be, to lead on from Paul's suggestion there, these will be depreciating assets on your business. They're not houses. They're going to be of a build quality where there'll be a depreciating asset, I imagine. So that's a big
good point.
capital investment that's losing money in the same way caravans and static caravans
Sure.
do. So that's a concern of the big upfront cost. And unfortunately, the way you've pitched the investment, firstly, I don't like the fact you're going to pay us 12% a year, because that's going to come out of your profit. I want your business to succeed. I don't want to take money from it from day 1 and day 2. And I also want to own 30% for the rest of my life. I want to put in my effort up front and have the benefits for a lot longer as a business partner. I don't like doing short-term deals. So the investment doesn't work, I'm afraid, for me. So I won't be investing. Thank you. Good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Scott?
Yeah, like Nicholas, I've got quite a few questions, so I'll try and keep it brief if I can. So question number 1, your purchase price is 875.
Yes.
Call it 900.
Yep.
Okay. And you are asking for £400,000 of cash
Yes.
today. So the 400 you're asking for plus the 100 you're putting in is 500.
Yeah.
There's a £400,000 shortfall against the £900,000 purchase price. Where's that coming from?
So we would need to raise funding as well, commercial lending as well.
It's called a bank loan.
Okay, so you're looking for a loan for the funds.
one of those.
Okay.
Yes, sorry.
Right. Okay. In terms of this being a lendable project, Nicholas is right in that you've got depreciating assets that are on there at the moment.
Yeah.
They need to be sweated, and you've got new assets that are going to go in and are going to fall over time. This is much more of a bankable deal to be funded through a bank effectively.
You mean a clearing
once you're
bank?
trading,
You mean a clearing bank?
once you are trading as a business,
Yeah.
and it is the getting there and getting 3 years worth of solid management accounts generating profit that's going to give you the banking facility for the long term. Obviously from a development perspective, this is not so much attractive to a development finance lender, a bridging lender.
Scott, I think that's
Yes and no.
Well, I think that's
It's a minefield.
it may not be too positive, but I think it's really good information that you've
Well, you
given.
need to know, yeah.
Yeah. Hayley.
I love you. I think you're fantastic. I love that you're a research geek like me, and other than your operational expenses, I think you bang on with your numbers. I would have the same concern as Scott and the other guys, is what do we have security over right now? Yeah. You are buying it at market value at 875, so I think for this to really work, we need to drive that price down. You don't have many people out there that are competing for this type of deal. It's a niche market. You are offering the experience. It's more about, I think I saw something in there about sensory experience and things like that. It is a very niche market, and that's great because you have a unique selling point. But that is also hard to then kind of compare or value.
Yeah.
Are you investing or not, Hayley?
I can't make you an offer today, but my offer would be to actually sit down and really look at this in detail to see if there is something here
forward.
for us to work together in the future.
Okay.
That would be great. Thank you very much.
Can I give you one tiny bit of advice before Ranjan tells you where he is? You might be better going and finding a plot of land for 10 grand an acre in a lovely area and building this business yourself, because I think you add all the value. And I think you touched upon this, you're paying full market price for a business that probably isn't making much money anyway, so you're overpaying for it at the current price.
But it has got a good planning permission.
But it does have good planning permission. That's
very
what you're
good.
buying. You're buying the planning
Very
permission.
Planning
Yeah.
permission.
Ranjan, you're the last person in.
The people who own this at the moment, do they work in the business? Are they operating the campsite?
Partly, there are some health
thought
issues.
So. I think going on from the other guys, I think you've presented this. I think you're great, but I think you've presented this in a maybe if it was bulldoze the lot and secure it on an option and build some houses on it. That would be a fantastic thing.
Brutal developer is Ranjan.
But
No wellness retreat.
Then it's not glamping, is it?
I've spent quite a bit of my career buying commercial properties and who are owner-occupier businesses, and they start off trying to sell the business, and then they realise that the business doesn't have the value because they're working in it, and the minute they take themselves out of it, it doesn't matter that they've been going for 20 years, it's not worth that. And then it's just the land value and the building value that you're paying for. And you're not at that level with this purchase price. So if you are going to go back, take Hayley's offer of the coffee and a chat and drive down that price.
Thank you.
So I'm afraid you haven't got a deal today, but there's a maybe. My quick advice would be it needs to be half the price they want for it.
Okay.
So good luck.
Thank
and
you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you all very
Well
much.
done.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I thought she was great.
What an intelligent,
Yeah,
on
brilliant.
the ball,
Brilliant.
someone you could really invest.
I loved her.
invest
Yeah.
into.
She's really, really backable.
If she had a plot of land at the end that she was confident had planning permission, had a pre-application or a planning consultant's view that you get a couple of houses on that, it might have worked from our perspective. We could have
It's
taken
all
the risk
about-
on the business.
It's all about how they come in
Yeah.
and propose the deal.
So Naomi, no deal today, but lots of feedback, and in particular, Hayley said some great things to you.
Yeah, actually they all did. First few seconds was very nervous and then got into it. So actually it was a great experience.
Yeah.
Amazing feedback. Certainly some things that I hadn't considered. So that's really helpful to kind of how we move the site forward, the proposal forward.
Brilliant.
So as far as I'm concerned, it was a success. So I'm very happy.
Oh, definitely a worthwhile day then.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you.
You're very welcome. It's been a pleasure. Hayley, thanks for joining us today at Property Elevator.
Thanks for having me.
You are very welcome. Tell me a little bit about your background and your history in property.
So I've remortgaged my family home about 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And I turned that 100k into just shy of £2 million worth of property and land. I can't lie, I've never done a development.
Okay.
But I'm here to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm really good at finding deals, and I've got 3 development opportunities in my pipeline. So I'm here to learn and maybe get an investment.
Brilliant, yeah. You find the deals, you JV and partner up with somebody. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, better luck.
Cool, thank you.
I'm going to ask you to head up these stairs and pitch.
Thank you.
See you when you get down.
Hi Angels, my name is Lee Blake. I'm from sunny Birmingham. I've been in property for 25 years, but for the last 7 years I've been taking it a lot more seriously, getting mentors, getting educated. I remortgaged the family home about 7 years ago for 100k. The missus at the time wasn't too impressed. That's why she's now the ex-missus. Well, one of the reasons. But I've turned that 100k into just shy of £2 million worth of property and land.
Done. Super.
I'm not going to lie, I've never done a development, but I am really good at finding development deals. I'm hoping that, I'm a development virgin, and I'm hoping one or two of you might help me pop my cherry today.
I like that.
Good.
I'm going to pitch a really exciting development deal, which is just a stone's throw away from the HS2 station, Curzon Street in the centre of Birmingham.
Good.
It's a really large corner bungalow plot with a big front garden and a big back garden. I own it, I own the freehold, and I currently rent it for £2,100 a month. So if an angel or two were to invest, you'd be cash flowing from day one.
Okay. So how much? And what is the deal?
So the actual bungalow is a plot on it's about 650 square metres or 0.16 of an acre.
Yep.
So there's a safe option and there's a curveball option. I'm really open to any kind of deal, really. The safe option is 4 stories.
So it's a knockdown.
Knock down the bungalow.
Okay.
We get planning permission.
4 stories high.
4 stories, 16 apartments.
16 apartments.
And then I would prefer to either get planning permission and flip it and make some quick cash, or the curveball option is, so a little bit of background. My neighbour and friend is the former head of planning for Birmingham City Council. He left Birmingham City Council 4 years ago and he's working in the private sector. He looked at the plot and said, you should not be playing safe with this.
You've currently got a site. What's the site stand you in at? What did you pay for the site?
195.
195. So
The mortgage is 187.
The mortgage is 180. And what's it worth to you?
I've had a conditional offer to buy it off me for £500,000. I said no, I might as well get planning myself.
Lee, that's absolutely fine. So who would like to go first?
Yeah, I'll go. What's the numbers on the safer option, as in what price per square foot do you have the units priced at?
So I think if a studio stroke a small one bed could be sold right now for 100,000, in 3 years' time, you're kind of looking, maybe 130.
No, we don't know that, do we? We don't know that,
but the area is only going to go one way, 100%.
Is it?
Yeah.
You sure?
I'm 99.9% sure. The mighty Birmingham City are going to move their stadium half a mile out of the city centre, so you'll have a massive sports centre and concert venue exhibition centre.
You've already got the NEC for that. But
So
anyway.
with the apart, so it's sorry, I'm still confused.
Yeah.
So you own the plot of land. There's a
Yes.
bungalow on there. We're going to demolish the bungalow and build 16 apartments, selling at 100,000.
No, so if we sold the 2 beds in 3 years' time, my conservative estimate, the 2 beds would be sold for £210,000. Because
Is there any reason that you're looking at prices in 3 years' time, as in?
Yeah, because it doesn't stack up at the moment, Paul. That's why.
No,
So your 1 beds are 100,000, your 2 beds are 210.
the studio would be 100,000.
Oh,
the larger
studio.
1 beds would be 130. The 2 beds right now would be 160. And that's based on the last few days I've been doing the comparables.
Sold comparables.
Yeah.
And they're for sale comparables, but they're much, much higher. They're like 250 to 300.
I think that's a
These
real mistake, though.
prices,
If you're trying to make this development stack based upon inflated prices in 3 years, that doesn't stack. You need to look at prices today.
But I wouldn't be selling them today. And
Why not?
I thank you for your feedback, but
Why wouldn't you
I've
sell
never
them today,
done-
though?
I suppose my friend said, the planner guy said, you probably a year in planning for a start.
Birmingham City, at least a year in planning.
Lee?
Yep.
Can you give me a breakdown? How many studios, how many 1 beds, how many 2 beds?
In the safe option, we've done 4 studios, 4 1 beds, and 8 2 beds.
Right. Nicholas, what's your view?
Wow, I mean, if we get the sort of planning you're talking about, it looks really, really exciting. Being close to HS2 is property investing 101, invest near up-and-coming transport links, up-and-coming areas.
It's all been done.
This is major. I'm sure some of this is priced in already in
It's
the
all
area.
priced in.
But this is still a relatively cheap plot. What would you, if we were doing a JV, what would you be prepared to put the site in at? You know,
I own the freehold in my personal name, and that's
Yeah.
because I was thinking about moving in there and reducing my capital gains for a while.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'll do that now, but I'm really open to any kind of thing. It could be that I fund the planning, especially if we went for the safer option. You guys fund one or two of you guys fund the development, or you buy the plot off me for X amount, and then we go and get debt finance and.
But I think with a JV, what you'd want to do is put that land into a JV at a certain price, and then we go and make it work. You know, with various debt, we will need various debt to fund the build, most likely.
So you wouldn't have to risk £2 million, whatever. You could
we get some debt, some equity.
So are you asking me how much I'd sell it to the SPV for?
Correct.
300 grand. Because I don't mind funding the planning. I also that would give me a little bit of money to do deals, because I'm good at finding deals.
I know this area back to front, and there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
Hundreds of thousands of people moving there. You know, there is all the demand you need for this sort of thing.
Yes.
But there's very much jam tomorrow in this deal. The values are not there today.
No.
And
not with 16 flats.
Well,
but
no.
with
There's
30
something
flats.
else.
A property deal, I always say, is like a bad haircut. Eventually it'll grow out.
Well,
and it'll look
Ranjan,
good
with
if you
all
sit
due
there long
respect,
enough.
you should know about that.
That's good, John.
That was not funny. Okay, this one's not for me. But I wish you best of luck. But I'd love to talk about BMV flipping at another time.
Shall I just have a...
Please do. Burst the balloon. Go on, you normally do.
Now, the most uncertain part of doing a development at the moment, or one of the most uncertain parts of doing development, is the planning process.
Yep.
So I would leave the tenant, sell the property to the SPV, release some equity from there, use that 100 grand, probably to be fair for your sourcing business, because you can grow that at the same time. Bring the angel in, help you with the planning process, and really then maximise what you can do with this site. But right now, this seems like a cash cow that actually you can leverage for your benefit and the benefit of another angel.
Hayley, would you like to go first on this?
Lee, I like you. I think you're a really nice guy, and you've come with a creative deal. For me, it's 2.5 years, you know, before we even really get started. Worst case
we
scenario.
could start the planning tomorrow.
Yeah, but it's not going to take 2.5 years, and it's just too long-winded. I'm disappointed you didn't bring me a better deal.
Go.
Okay.
I'm out. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going to think for a little. I can't. I haven't
Okay.
thought about an offer. Sorry, but I
Okay.
will
Shall
make you one.
I say where I am? Because without sounding, I don't want to sound arrogant, and I'm not arrogant. I'm a humble person underneath it all. I'm very experienced at doing tower blocks. That's what I do. I know the area. I would definitely like to make you an offer, not just on this, but on other deals that you may have. I've got a lot of good contacts in Birmingham, so we can work together.
Me being one of them.
We can work. You're Dudley.
I'm not.
Work together to both our advantages. So this is my offer. My offer is this: we form a company. We put the property in at £300,000. We put the money up jointly for the planning, which I think will be in the region of 100 to 150,000 to get the planning for potentially the 16 units, or if we can work it right, and Birmingham City Council needs some money at the moment, potentially buy some of the other land up, which is a skill in itself to know how to do that, put the deal together correctly in the right way, and then we have, once we've done that, then we have the opportunity then to either sell it with planning or develop it. I don't mind which. At the moment, it doesn't work to do that. But by the time we've got planning, which will take a year and a half probably, and all the rest of it, hopefully we'll be in a better position. The train will be coming in. Nicholas can come and visit whenever he wants on that train. And then we can show him what we've achieved together. So that's my offer.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll weigh in. As I say, I know the area well. I know the people that would buy this off you with the planning well.
I think we all know that.
Well, not really. No, you don't.
Well,
I've
we
worked
do.
with them for over a decade. So
And I know the managing director very well.
of a
The company you're talking about.
A company perhaps, but multiple companies, multiple potential buyers. I'd also, if we were to do it ourselves, I'd be able to sell them quickly, which would de-risk the build substantially. However, I accept what John said in that he's definitely got more experience than me in actually building tower blocks. And for that reason, I think we would make a good team on this one, if John's willing to be a team.
You're ganging up on me, guys.
No, I'm not.
Okay,
Let me
okay,
finish.
okay.
So, I would be willing to do something very similar to what John said, trying to maximise the planning, because I don't think it works with the 16 units, but I do think you can get more on it. And whether that be building it out ourselves or selling it to, very well established and funded developers in Birmingham, that this would be attractive to. And I think I could help quite a lot with that. So I'd be willing to partner with either John or Nick on a similar basis to what John offered.
Now, Nicholas.
What I think's important here is what you want. So I'm actually going to match Paul's offer so that you've got the option of working with the people that you want to work with. And whether that's me or not, if it is me, I'd love to work with you. If it's not, as long as it's the right thing for you, that's the most important thing. So you've got John on his own at the moment, or me and Paul together, me and Paul on our own, and it's whether John will work with either of us or not.
Thank you very much.
We need to know whether John's willing to share or not.
I'm not willing to share,
You're
no.
not? Okay.
We don't need to share with anyone. Okay, go to the wall and have a think. Yeah, thank you. That means I'm old.
Good luck, chaps.
That means I'm old.
John,
No, you're not a
you're
veteran.
not sharing with me?
John doesn't share.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your offers. I think the structure of the deal is pretty good for me. However, so my counter offer would be, we sell into the SPV for 300. I make a little bit of money that I can do deals with, and the planning and the development either comes from finance, but it doesn't come from my pocket.
You want us to wash the dishes and dry them up as well?
No,
Yes.
I want both to make money.
However, listen,
And have dinner first.
However, what I'll do, I'll pay for all the planning, but I get my planning money back first before we share any profit.
Nicholas, Paul.
on once it's sold at some point. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So the cost of the planning, my cost of the planning comes back to me first, and then we share the profit 50-50 after that. So all costs, and then we share the profit.
He's got £2 million worth of property.
I'd be prepared to do that and pay for all the planning.
It's a big boys project.
That's why you need two. That's why you need a big boy.
That's why you need. That's why you need a bigger team.
I think it's decision time for you.
Yeah.
I think the differences are...
Thank you so much for the feedback. So I think I would like to accept Nicholas and Paul's offer because
Good
two
choice.
heads
Well
are better than
done.
one.
Well done.
Bro.
Brilliant.
Great. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Really looking forward to working with you. It's going to be brilliant.
Hey,
I cannot believe.
good work.
Congratulations. Well done.
I honestly, when you get into difficulties, you're not sure what to do.
Call John.
Just give me a ring.
Come
The
to you.
legend.
I'll help you.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll do that.
John, because you might have to buy a sheep.
I cannot believe I've lost that, Scott.
You might have to
know
buy
why.
a sheep.
Why?
I think the
Why don't
reality
we
of that
Tiny
one.
this time.
I think the reality of that one is we're not going to build out 40
Of course
flats in Birmingham over 2.5
Well, I had that in
years.
the bag, didn't you?
We'll
Had
get
you?
the best possible planning and
did,
flick it to some of the
Absolutely.
developers I know.
Exactly.
They've never done a tower block in their
easy
lives.
planning.
But
win.
we're not planning to build a tower block.
No,
We're
but you
planning
still
to
get,
get a
you still
planning
get
uplift.
planning on it, and that's very complicated.
Even if we got pre-app and
Yeah, I
some
know, a good
outline
planning
planning,
consultant
we'd
you
sell that for
introduced me
700,000 or
to.
800,000.
Cannot believe that.
Brilliant. What a result there.
Yeah, yeah,
Give me a
I'm
high
real-
five.
really
Woohoo.
chuffed. Yeah.
Amazing. So Nicholas and Paul,
Yeah.
how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm really, I've had it for about 2 years now, and I've been thinking about kind of doing it or not doing it or waiting till the area developed a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but now I can take a little bit of profit kind of from day one because it's a no money left in deal for me anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really chuffed. And if I'm honest, I would have liked John in the deal as well, but he didn't want to share, and I'm a sociable fella, so
John
I
is
always
not a
wanted
sharer.
two angels. So yeah, it's cool.
Great.
I'm really chuffed.
He never has been, probably never will be.
I know, like Paul knows the area really well.
He does.
I know Nicholas knows about cluster flats and student type stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it could be a 16-story tower, and I couldn't do that on my own. So yeah.
Well, you've got an excellent
Yeah,
pair.
it's a good win-win, I think.
Yeah, I think you make a great trio.
Indeed.
Good luck.
Cool. Awesome.
Thanks for
Cool.
joining us
Thank you.
today. It's been
Awesome.
great having you.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Michael, Reginald, welcome to Property Elevator today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about where you've come from.
So I come from Basingstoke in Hampshire.
Okay.
And I'm from Doncaster, South
Okay.
Yorkshire.
So they are very far apart. How does that work in terms of a business partner?
So I think we tend to always communicate in sort of select areas that we think are convenient for either Reginald or myself to get to.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I guess that opens you up to more areas, doesn't it? Having one
Yes.
of you more north and one of you more south.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Sounds like the perfect team. Well, good luck. I hope it goes really well up there. I'm going to send you up there now, and we will chat when you get back down.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go for it.
Hi Angels, my name is Michael and this is my business partner Reginald. We have a scheme in Bracknell. The opportunity that's been presented is one that's got outline planning for 3 new build property homes. This comes with the demolition of an existing bungalow. In terms of the team, I am a qualified architectural technologist. So we have, as I said, the demolition of an existing 1960s bungalow, which I think should be straightforward. It then opens up to us developing sort of 374 square meters worth of three properties. The 3 properties are 2 semi-detached properties, which are 3-bed units over 3 stories, and 1 detached unit over 2 stories.
Well, as Mike mentioned, we have a GDP of 2 million, and this is based on 2 semis and 1 detached house. Our 2 semis we've estimated to be around 660, which is conservative in the area. We had a whole sheet with comparables, and we have 680 for the detached property. And now funding required will be for the land purchase, which is 550. The development costs, we have 780, and total development value of 1.33 million. For that, we are offering a share of equity for 50% split.
Thank you very much.
Can I just check your resale value of the semi-detached properties?
Yes.
What was that?
660
each.
Yes.
Yep.
And the detached?
We have it at 680, but we could achieve more than that.
Ranjan.
Now, this is being sold with outline planning permission. Yes. Is this something that the vendor has obtained?
That is correct, yes.
Do you know whether that is do you know the history of them getting their outline planning? What I'm trying to ask is there a possibility of getting more on that site?
I think the opportunity is there. I don't have the full history of what the vendor has done previously because we've been discussing through the agent.
Sometimes vendors, when they try to sell a site with planning, often don't push it to the limit. And looking at the site, it does seem that there's some more juice there in terms of a higher density development. The other thing I wanted to talk a little bit about is the timescale. Now you're talking about a 18-month project, and I think you've factored in a 15-month build. Now you're about a 33% profit margin, yeah? Have you got any feasibility or anything as to how long going from outline to full will actually take before you can put spade in the ground, basically?
So our estimation from previous experience would be about 6 months as a worst case.
I think you may have already mentioned this, but what is the build cost and what is the investment you're looking for from us?
The build cost is 780, which is the development cost, and the land purchase would be 550, which is the agreed offer amount, and then total development cost is 1.33. GDV were conservative with the 2 million. We could achieve more than that, but as shown on the comparables, we went slightly below on our GDV and the comparables we have.
And do you have a figure you're looking for from us, or is it just the equity to be able to do it?
We'll be looking for the full development cost if possible, but if not, it's just the land purchase. We could have a conversation and we'll be able to raise hopefully through development finance.
Yeah, okay. All right, Paul. I just want to explore the situation with the semi-detached houses being worth the same as the detached, because that doesn't sound right to me. The other semis are either too much or the detached is too little. Which is it?
So I think the semis are probably too much because they're spread over 3 stories, whereas the detached is a 2-story.
So are they the same size?
Same size.
But one's detached and one's a semi.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would, even if they're the same size, I would probably see a bigger differential than 20 grand.
Yeah.
You know, because people want a detached house on the normally, not always, because sometimes they've got a big family or they've got whatever. But okay, all right.
We did have a conversation about it, and we think we actually went lower on the detached. You could possibly sell for more.
If the semi's right, the detached is wrong, which is good news. Yeah. Okay.
With all due respect, he's going to say that to you, though, isn't he?
They will say that, yes. But I think from experience, having done some other work in Bracknell, I believe the one thing I should have said right at the beginning is Seven Capital do say Bracknell from 2023 is probably one of the better investment destinations in the UK based on housing values.
That's
Do
good.
you know why they're saying that? Because they have a huge tower block in the town centre.
Well, not only that, it's good news for Nicholas because he owns loads of property there. So, it's fantastic
and
news.
Basingstoke, and they have some big investments.
In fact, he can buy dinner tonight on that news, so thank you very much for that.
Should we hear from the lender? Or
I think we should hear
I think we
from
should
Scott.
probably
Yeah.
see if it's bankable.
Now looking at how a deal might be structured, there are a number of covenants that a lender would put in place around a transaction like this. So if you take your purchase price at 550, the difference between the 1.33 total cost and the £1 million that a development finance lender might be able to lend, so you take the 330 off the 550, your day one lend against the purchase price is roughly around 220. Okay, does that all make sense?
It does, yes.
And so from that perspective, the deal stacks. If you, again, given your backgrounds, if you can get an angel in for some or all of the 330k that's required, then, in my opinion, this is a very, very lendable deal.
Who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
I like you guys. You've got great experience. You've got a great team with you. Other guy that's obviously not here today as well in your pack. This looks like a good, solid deal, but it doesn't really float my boat in today's market. It's not something that I would like to get into at this moment in time. So for me, yeah, good deal. You're great, but I'm not 100% why I'm not interested, but I'm not. Maybe it's because I'm hungry.
So you're out?
I'm out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ranjan.
I like the way Hayley put that. I think
She's hungry.
No, not the hungry bit, but I think I have similar sentiments, because I think this is a very interesting deal a year ago, particularly because I think the vendor's got outline planning permission, and I don't think he's pushed it, and I think it's going to be easier to get two blocks of semis on there and all the rest of it. But the problem is, right now, entering into something where you're doing 2 to 3 year exit proposition. I mean, it's going to be 2 to 3 years before you exit out of this deal. And I think now's the time for a quick in and out within a year. And that's what worries me for personally what I want to get involved in. That's the only reason. But if you guys come back to me with proper permitted development propositions where you're in and out in a year, I'll be all over them.
I was waiting for that, weren't you?
Yeah. Well done, great pitch, and I love the way you answered the questions.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Paul?
We'll go to, and I agree with Ranjan. I think the time frame is what ruins this one for me, the unknown time frame. The returns on capital aren't bad if, for example, it had planning now and you could just get going with it, but it doesn't. So that extends the time frame of the development and therefore reduces the per annum return on our cash. And that's my main focus, is how much am I putting in, how long is it in there for, what am I getting on the money? So for those reasons, it's not one for me. Thank you.
Okay.
For me, I actually don't share the same sentiment that you can squeeze more on this plot. Looking at it, I think it's a reasonably dense area anyway on a housing estate. It's not like it's on the edge of a town or on the edge of a village street where there's sort of country roads extending out and you're extending the footprint of a village or a town edge. I think they've probably maximised it. And on the basis that it's not on a new build estate as well, I think the value may be a little bit punchy. And you often get sort of 10-15% new build premium. But here I don't think you're going to get quite that. I think you might get 10%. So I actually think your GDV is a little bit lower than you're hoping for. That being said, it could be a couple of years out to build. So by that time, the market, we're hoping, will be firmly back with some interest rate drops, and actually it might well be back at this. So who knows? I don't have a crystal ball.
It's a long way around saying no, isn't it?
But for me, it's on my area anyway, and I just don't think it's juicy enough. So I'm afraid
that is a no then after all.
That's
that.
a no at the end.
Okay.
So I've got to leave the door open for you sometime. John.
Well, that's good of you. Now, I'm really not sure. Very rarely am I in this show. Very rarely am I not sure what to do. I'll tell you what I do. I'll do 65%, 35% in my favour. I'd like to see the detached become 2 semis in some way. We don't need to increase the square footage a huge amount to do that, do we?
No, we don't.
A little bit, a bit of tweaking, as long as there's enough parking and the gardens are the right standard size that are allowed to be. If you'll do a second charge on your homes, show some commitment. 65 to me, 35 to you. I will put up the balance of 165k. I know it's going to take 6 months from now to get the planning, to get the detailed planning, but we might want to tweak that anyway to our advantage to make it into two semis rather than detached. So if we can do that, then you have a deal. If you think that's good enough for you, then I'll be delighted to work with you. You're both professional. I love that. I can leave you to it to a great extent and let you get on with it.
Thank you, John. We would like to counter offer if we can. 40-60.
No.
No.
It's never a good idea to come back with a counter offer, in my view, because it doesn't put us on the right footing to start with, does it?
Can we meet in the middle?
No. I'll tell you what I would do. If you can go away and convince me that we can get 2 semis rather than a detached, then I would potentially go down to 60%. Potentially.
So if we push that, does that mean you can take it to 60-40?
No, it means I'm at 65 still. So what do you want to do?
You just said if they got an extra semi.
But they haven't.
No, no.
They're
But
not doing a
what
semi.
What if they
doing
go up
that.
then? Why don't you make it
No, but they're
conditional on
doing
getting
that
planning
anyway.
for the extra story?
So listen, if it's not 2 semis, if you're just going to add add an extra floor, I'm at 65, 35. If you want to do that, I'm willing to do it. If you don't want to do that, then that's fine.
Do you understand?
All right, considering, you'll be coming in.
You sound a
with
bit.
us.
You don't sound very keen.
I'm excited, John.
You're excited.
Yes,
Can I have some excitement from you or not? Or are you just,
okay, we'll be
Delighted.
delighted to
that's the word we're looking for.
delighted to have you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yes.
And hope is the beginning of many more
Exactly.
to come. So
You
that's how
find the
we'll look
deals
at
that are
it.
good enough.
Because we'll find.
We can do them.
Think big.
Yeah, we will find many more anyway.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Good work, chaps. Well done. Can I just start off by saying that would be my reaction if I had to work with John.
He wasn't very keen, was he? Yeah. I think he'll warm up. He'll warm up when he realises that we can just jiggle it about a bit and make it a little bit
Do
better.
you know what? You
joking.
don't start negotiating with somebody when you have no other options in the room.
Yeah.
It's either a take it or leave it deal. Take on board the advice that
tough,
you've been given. And actually, further down the track, if the GDV can be increased because you can put another story on, or increase a foot that
Everything's
the-
negotiable.
One thing that wasn't
I think they
mentioned
were right
there
to
was that
negotiate.
the lending wouldn't be possible without John anyway.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's not just about the 160 grand.
Yeah.
It's what you bring to the table on top of that.
Excellent work, guys.
Yes,
We've
thank
got
you.
another deal done.
Yes, indeed.
Congratulations.
Thank
you
you
went
very
with
much.
John. He
Yes.
gave you an offer. How are you feeling?
Wow.
Excited,
Yeah.
relieved as well. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Feels a bit overwhelmed with everything.
A bit surreal.
Yeah.
What an amazing day. Some great deals and some great candidates. We'll see you next time.